A critical red flag watch is in effect tonight, with a warning set to begin Wednesday morning and then last through Saturday night.
National Weather Service expecting conditions that could lead to large destructive wildfires like we saw in January. We have live team coverage. Fox 11's meteorologist Adam Kruger tracking the weather. But first, Fox's Matthew Seedorf live downtown with details on how the city is getting ready.
Well, city officials are watching that forecast very closely tonight, but many people are wondering if they're more prepared than they were just 8 months ago. With the Gifford fire exploding past 130,000 acres in Santa Barbara County, a fire weather watch has now been issued across much of the LA area. The National Weather Service warning of extreme triple-digit heat, whipping winds, and bone-dry brush, prime for what they call large plume-dominated fires, blazes big enough to create their own weather. Sickening images all too familiar for those impacted by the deadly LA fires earlier this year.
We better be ready, because you couldn't get a bigger warning than we just had 7 months ago.
Former LA mayor candidate Rick Caruso has been helping with the recovery efforts.
How many more fire trucks that were sitting in mothballs have come back into service? What about all the brush and vegetation that's still 40 years old behind Brentwood?
After the Palisades fire, there was as many as 75 LAFD trucks out of service at this maintenance yard. Now, 7 months later, we count at least 15 fire trucks and dozens of ambulances. LA Mayor Karen Bass's office tells Fox 11 the city has relied on donations for new fire trucks and equipment in recent months, adding the city is in the process of hiring the civilian mechanics position approved by the budget Mayor Bass signed. Do you feel like LA is better prepared now for a fire than we were then?
We still have a long way to go. I think we have the attention of the leaders in our city, and I think we have a lot of effort ongoing. We need new fire stations. We need massive hiring, and we need to expand the resources that are available.
Los Angeles officials watching the forecast closely, prepared to stage fire crews in areas of concern.
The fire department is actively, by the hour, monitoring the weather.
We wanted to speak with Mayor Bass and ask her a lot of these questions. She was unavailable today. A lot of people watching this situation very closely. We're live tonight. Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
All right, Matthew, thank you. One of those people watching this very closely is our meteorologist, Adam Kruger. Well, the peak is Thursday, huh?
Yeah, Thursday should be the hottest, and that's when we're getting into that especially dangerous time frame as far as fires go, which, by the way, is not expected to be a widespread wind-driven situation. So this is a little bit different than what we saw back in January. We'll get to that in a little bit. First, let's just start with the heat alerts. You can see a lot of them across the southwestern U.S. and here into Southern California. This big red color, which is basically everywhere except right along the coast, is an extreme heat watch. For a lot of areas, this starts Wednesday. For some other spots, starts Thursday. This is likely to switch over to maybe a blend of heat advisories and extreme heat warnings. So the watch is just giving us an early heads up of the heat wave that's coming a couple of days from now. And then, yes, we do have a red flag warning or fire weather warning. That's for this pink color right here. There's a fire weather watch for these orange areas out in this direction. And it's becoming a little bit closer. You can see the exact spots. So a lot of the mountains and foothills north of LA in LA County and into Ventura County as well. Now, as far as that red flag warning, we're going to talk a lot more about this later on, but there's a good setup in the atmosphere for vertical plume growth, which means that there could be, if a fire starts, it's the kind of situation where it can have a big updraft and create its own kind of erratic winds in the vicinity of that fire. We're going to explain that more later on. Let me just bring you up to speed on the temperatures then for tomorrow. So we're looking at a warm day tomorrow. This is not quite into the heat wave just yet. Notice the deserts, yeah, they're warm with some 100s there, 90s in the valleys in the Inland Empire, 80s around LA into Orange County, and 70s along the coast. But as we work you through the week here, you're going to see the numbers getting hotter and hotter. Here's a look at Wednesday. We're seeing some 100s in the valleys and the IE. And then finally Thursday, this is when we are really, really hot with a lot of 90s, a lot of 100s. Look at Woodland Hills, maybe nearing 110. Even along the coast, I think we're going to find some highs around 80 degrees. So we'll talk more about the red flag warning, how the rest of our region is looking over the next 7 days. We'll explain the heat wave in more detail. Everything coming up later. For now, let's go back to you.